What is considered cute when done by a kid, but illegal when done by an adult? One time when I was little, early 2000s, I accidentally faxed a picture of Geodude from Pokemon to the police from my grandma's fax machine. The picture was still in there because my grandma made copies of all my drawings, and I thought the fax machine was a phone, so I tried to call 911. In the end, I dialed the police and sent them a picture of Geodude with zero context. My grandma wasn't happy about it. LMAO. Sir, what is it? Something's telling me this is going to be a hard case, chief. When my brother was 5 and we had one of our voluptuous neighbors over, he went over to her and palmed both of her breasts and said, "You've got big ones, neighbor," in Portuguese. My neighbor's kid did that to my mum, and in Portuguese. My 2-year-old stroked a flight attendant's behind with both hands as she was shifting something in the overhead bin next to our seat. Her skirt was very tight fitting, right in front of his face, and I guess he just thought it looked nice to touch. She whipped her head around at light speed with a glare to send the offender up in flames. When she saw it was just a toddler and I apologized, she looked relieved and laughed. The way she reacted, though, made me think she probably has that happen way too often by grown gross dudes saying they want to marry their mum or dad. Yikes. My nephew, who is 5, was having a sleepover with my son, who is 4. We were eating dinner and somehow the subject of husband and wife came up, and my nephew asked who my husband was. I'm not married, so I explained that I didn't have one. He nonchalantly said, "Well, that's okay, 'cause you will just marry your dad. He can be your husband." Nope, buddy. That's not how it works. When I was 5 or so, I went to a baseball game with my dad, and he wouldn't let me get popcorn. I really wanted popcorn. I walked away and sat on a random man's lap plus started eating his popcorn. I closed my eyes and pretended like I thought it was my father, like, "Oh dad, you got popcorn, thanks," because my child mind thought my dad would believe I thought it was him and wouldn't get mad. I don't think that would be very cute as a 21-year-old. Best thing I've read all day. Taking shortcuts through PPLS yards. Those were the days. My friends and I did this to get to the next street like it was our own property. Shit, I thought we were the only ones who hopped backyards. We called it missions though. Did you ever meet fellow backyard jumpers while jumping backyards? Though when I look back, I think that it was really stupid. If kids hop my backyard, I'd yell at them, "Watch out for the raccoons and skunks. They're gonna get you." Grabbing all boobs 'cause you think they mean food. Yes, I have 3 ex-booby grabbers and 1 current offender. Be careful leaning that close to him. He may try to squish your breasts. Most likely wouldn't be taken so lightly if said offender wasn't a toddler. My friend, when he was just crawling apparently, was at a beach with his mum. She looked away for a second and he'd crawled over to a nearby topless sunbather sleeping on her back and tried to suckle on her. Obviously she screamed and it didn't get far, but after much embarrassment they did all laugh it off. As an adult, that's probably prison time. Even as a literal baby it could have been much worse depending on the woman's response. At that age, a topless beach probably looks like a buffet. Frankly, at my age, a topless beach still looks like a buffet, slightly different connotation though. As Ray Romano said, when your kid discovers he can get an erection for the first time and runs out of the bathtub going pee pee big, it is cute and all. When grandpa does it, it is sad and disturbing. But grandpa has more reason to be happy. Gramps used harden. It was very effective. For now. So if 2 grandpas battle, does it never end? Eventually they run out of pages and you struggle until one faints. My 3-year-old ran up to a large man with a shirt too small for his body at a BBQ joint in Chicago and gave him a big hug. He thought it was cute and he walked away. When I asked her why she hugged him, she told me so I could lick him. She licked the man's underbelly. Imagine the man's utter confusion when he walks away and feels a cold patch on his underbelly, feeling refreshed. A baby can drink a bottle and fall asleep, and it's cute. When I drink a bottle and go to sleep I got problems. My mom always loved to tell how, when I was first being potty trained, when I had to go number 2, I would pull my pants down in the living room before trotting to use the toilet, pants around ankles. Something tells me it wouldn't go over as well now. I did that once at preschool. Stopped at the bathroom door to drop my pants before going inside to use it. Don't think my classmates noticed, but a teacher did and told me not to do that. I wasn't embarrassed by it either. But I do remember thinking at that moment that just maybe this isn't quite how it's supposed to go, but I'm gonna do it anyway because convenience. Same thing happens here. The bathroom was connecting 2 classes and I was in the hall. The teacher saw and said, "We don't do that here," to which I replied, "I do it at home, so I do it here." Playing doctor. Franca Bagmail has entered the chat. Running around in public naked. My 3-year-old was being potty trained at the time and I took him to McDonald's after his vaccinations to cheer him up. He had a great time until he announced to me that he wet himself. So I go to my bag to get a change of trousers and pants to hear people laughing, and I look up from my bag. He dropped his trousers and pants to the floor and was shuffling to the bathroom door with them around his ankles with a big grin on his face. Just his little butt exposed. I couldn't even be embarrassed. It was too funny. That's adorable. Now imagine that with a 30-year-old, and it's a completely different feel. Calling 911 to get a Happy Meal. Edit. Thank you for the silvers, kind people. Or due to a lost teddy bear. This is the cutest response so far. I love it. Sit on people's laps. Demand to be picked up. I don't know. Had a tiny girlfriend once. She was always on my lap. Though she hated being picked up, people seemed to think it was okay just because she was little. Relieved it's not just me. Why do people do this? I weigh 100 pounds and most people can lift me. I'm a grown up, damn it. Just because you can, doesn't mean you should. Being attracted to other kids, that's illegal as an adult? Looks like Uncle Murray has some explaining to do. No, I distinctly remember Uncle Murray saying if he's 7, then I'm 7, so he doesn't count. When a kid draws on the wall, sometimes people will think it's cute and creative. When an adult draws on the wall, it's called vandalism. Edit. Clearly, I didn't think this through. Sure, there are people who think it's cute, but clearly it's not the majority. Sorry for being a dumbus. Unless they have been commissioned, then they're an artist, and the drawing is now very important for some reason. Whipping down your pants and having a pee anywhere you like. I love hearing the phrase having a pee. I wish people said it where I'm from. My 2-year-old daughter smacked a random lady's booty at the grocery store because she sees me do that to her mom at home. It was funny, but if she was 16 years older, that might be sexual assault. Edit. Thank you so much for the sliver. There's an 8-year gap between my next sibling and me, plus no cousins close to my age either, so I was everyone's favorite to teach. Some of it was to go hit the other sibling or cousin because they couldn't react to me without getting in trouble. Other lessons I learned was grabbing butts. In the grocery store with my mom, I wandered over to a bent over lady and grabbed her butt. She spun around ready to punch someone, but theirs was noon there to punch until she looked down, saw me, and died laughing when she saw a 4 years old. My mom was horrified. 11 years later I was horrified when my junior high science teacher asked me if I still grabbed lady butts while they're shopping for vegetables. Turns out she remembered me, which isn't all that shocking considering my hometown is 3,000 people and I was one of 3 mixed children that live there. This is hilarious. I also live in a similar sort of town. I remember another occasion I took my nephew to a Walmart and he was 3 to 4 years old just chilling in the shopping cart. We walked into some random aisle of the store and he noticed a family looking at some things on the shelf. He pointed at the family and said them are black people. Immediately I apologized awkwardly and walked away and tried to teach my young nephew how that was not an inappropriate thing to say, lol. Sucking on your mom's boobies. Bitty. When a kid walks up to a random person and pukes on them, nothing bad happens, but when I puke on random people it's illegal and concerning like WTF. Kissing other kids on the cheek when they didn't technically consent. Oh, to me like San. How cute. V's. Bro, who TF are you? Thanks for making it to the end. Don't forget to hit like and subscribe. Here's a meme as a reward.